enjoying the full-size Magic Knight Rayearth adventure for Saturn more than I expected, I just had to check out Sega's smaller effort for Game Gear. This is one short RPG offering nothing in the way of story, though it does feature a unique spin on combat I haven't seen anywhere else. That's the only reason even fans of the manga or anime should give this one a gander, so let's get into it. This side story to the Magic Knight's early escapades may not look like anything fancy today, but for a handheld in 1994, it's more than adequate. I mean, it's in color for one, so that's a plus. Unfortunately, the music is forgettable, repetitive, and even annoying, so that's all I'll say about that. Presentation aside, the only thing you need to know going in is these girls were yoinked into a mysterious fantasy world where they've got magic powers and are expected to take down the big bad, Zagat. This game, though, is not relevant to the main story for reasons you'll find out. Much more interesting is the combat, and oh boy, it's one wild system. You've got to wait for each of the three girls' turn to come up on a spinning wheel, indicated by their faces perking up and smiling. When the one you want is up next, just press A. The hook is that you can press right on the D-pad to speed up the wheel, or left to slow it down, and a faster wheel means a stronger attack from the character it landed on. Shamefully, I didn't figure any of this out until about an hour in, so my early fights were painfully slow and had me ready to put the game down. That's on me, but I don't recall the game ever explaining how you speed up the wheel. I'm sure it's in the manual, which I haven't read since this game never came out in English, no worries. Anyway, I soldiered on, eventually figuring this out, and lo and behold, the combat started getting kinda fun. It's got an action game sort of feel, despite it technically being turn-based, where you have to pay attention to not tap A too fast if you plan on casting magic, otherwise you'll select the default attack option by accident. Certain enemies are weak to spells, others to physical attacks, and it's easy to get caught by the rare, powerful AoE attacks that can wipe your party if you're not properly healed up. All in all, while there's not a ton of strategy, there's enough to keep the game fun for its duration. For most of the game, Fu, my favorite of the trio, has only buffs and healing spells, yet using these is crucial for survival. Later on, she does get a powerful magical attack, and you'll be able to buy plenty of full party heal items by the end, making the final boss gauntlet a total pushover. In fact, the whole game's a cinch once you figure out how to abuse the wheel system, namely by speeding it up to max and mashing A every time to attack as quickly and as powerfully as possible. However, I've got to at least give MKR respect for being a refreshingly pure RPG, all about the combat, improving your capabilities, and finding that next boss, even if exploration takes place on shallow screens with multiple exits, adventure game style. It's not my favorite setup, there's no traditional dungeons or anything, though for what it's worth, the sprites are pretty cool. Story-wise, as mentioned, there's nothing to speak of. No, really, there is no story here other than the fact that the Magic Knight's mascot companion Makona has gone missing and they're trying to find him. Otherwise, the first third of the game consists of battle after battle against a guy from the anime named Fario just to get back a communicator he stole that lets them contact Makona. Seriously, there's 7 of these fights in a row, and since I hadn't figured out how to speed up combat by that point, I was struggling to get through them. Again, that's on me, but these fights wouldn't be interesting regardless. They're padding in what's only a 2-hour game. Yeah, if you were looking for value for your dollar in '94, this was not the place to find it. On top of that, there seems to be a whole 2 dungeons missing. When you travel to the ocean and volcano locations on the map late in the game, well, I say late, but only about an hour and a half in, you just get cutscenes explaining how the girls once again managed to not find Makona. I'd bet money these sections were cut. It's no wonder the resulting game is so short. But hey, at least you get to fight Zagat at the end, right? Well, yes, except afterward the girl's mentor figure reveals that the final battle, and presumably their whole journey up to this point, was an illusion created by him to train the girls, to level them up to get ready to actually face Zagat. In effect, it's a throwaway side story integral to the Saturn game with no relevance to anything in the main plot. The whole thing is nothing more than a silly throwaway farce. Maybe that's for the best though, cause while the combat's a neat change up from what I'm used to, it does get old, and 2 hours was all I needed. Treat it like a sweet little morsel of old school charm, and you might enjoy Magic Knight Rayearth for Game Gear. Skip it, and you're not missing much at all. Thanks for watching. I've been Leon from RPG Haven. Leave a like for that algorithm, subscribe for more videos on RPGs, let me know what you thought of this game if you played it in the comments, and have a blessed day.